I think that the best form of the proper human diet for you for weight loss is what is most sustainable for you. Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 304.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Now, we're going to try something a little new this year. We're going to try to shorten our intro.
Whoop!
So instead of going through everything that we do here on Two Crazy Ketos, we're just going to tell you who we are. So like I said, I'm Joe.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Two Crazy Ketos, and welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and we do it live whenever possible. Although today, we're actually pre-recording this, but we are live down below in the chat.
Say hi, Rachel.
So here's the thing. If you're new to Keto Beyond the Couch, we like to celebrate our subscribers every week. Our channel is all about community. Yes, we do recipe videos and we talk about keto, but we really like to focus on community. So on Keto Beyond the Couch, we like to highlight questions and comments that we've gotten from our social media over the last week, as well as celebrate subscribers.
I would like to celebrate the fact that right now while we're taping this, my belly is full with my favorite go-to meal. Whether we are on Triple B and E or not, there is one meal that I can always count on. It's fast, it's easy, it fills my belly, it never doesn't taste awesome, and that is just simple ground beef and eggs cooked on the Blackstone.
Yeah, let us know down in the comment section, what is your favorite way to eat beef? I mean, I like a steak.
Sure.
But I love ground beef. I mean, growing up, we never really ate red meat because, you know, again, it was taught that red meat's bad for you. So we ate a lot of ground chicken and ground turkey.
Oof, I'm
Not
sorry.
a big fan of that. But we didn't eat a lot of beef, especially steaks and stuff. We didn't have the money for that. We did occasionally have ground beef, but for some reason, as much as I like steak, I love ground beef. Like you said, it's easy. You can turn it into hamburgers, meatloaf. You can just ground it up, and the way we like to do is add a bunch of stuff in it. It's like a carrier for anything.
Yes.
If you're not on beef, butter, bacon, egg, you can put in like the tomato basil keto chow. And works great with that. You can add cream cheese, eggs, bacon. I love to take bacon and cut it up, cook up that bacon in little chunks on a Blackstone or in a frying pan, and then throw the ground beef into that to get all the flavor of the bacon grease.
And we totally intended on doing that today, but I made and ate up all the bacon yesterday, and I would like to publicly apologize.
You ate all the bacon.
Anybody who eats the last bacon in a marriage, now you know you owe your spouse something now. So like you are in control completely of the clicker tonight. I want to just like go ahead and
Thank you.
Put that out there. You get to choose the movie because
So
I know
no Hallmark movies tonight.
No Hallmark movies because I ate the last piece of bacon, and I'm going to say no regrets.
The other thing I really like about ground beef is, for the most part, it's cheap. It's one of the cheapest forms of beef that you can get, and a lot of times you can find it on sale, and it doesn't matter. Like, if you don't have a lot of money, if you're on a very tight budget, go buy the cheapest ground beef you can. You know, like the tubs out there, it's all going to be better than eating the standard American diet. So like we said, we're not live right now. We're actually heading out on just a Rachel and Joe vacation, something we don't do very often. But don't worry, we're still going to vlog on it. So even though it's a Rachel and Joe vacation, we're still going to do some recording on there, because though we're going to kind of go off of beef, butter, bacon, and egg for the week we're on the cruise, the 4 nights that we're on a cruise, we are going to stick to close to beef, butter, bacon, egg. Pretty much eating meat, eggs, things like that. But we want to try different things. And we want to show you some of the different things we can do when we're on a cruise and stay keto. So super excited about that.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that we punctuate that. We never go off of keto. As Mary T says, keto every day.
Yep.
Keto always and forever. We're so thankful for this way of eating. And I love the fact that every single morning, I don't have to expend any mental energy asking myself, Rachel, are you keto today? Because it's keto every single day.
Yeah. Now, a couple of little like tidbits before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, this would be great if you're considering going on the 2KK birthday cruises. in December, first of all, they're filling up.
Yeah.
We've got like 38 people for each cruise already signed up. Most people are doing back-to-back, but you don't have to. There's 2 legs. There's December 4th to the 8th, and the 8th through, I think it's the 13th. You can go on one, the other, or both of them. But we're down to only like 10 or 11 ocean view balcony cabins left at the rate we were able to reserve. So all the information for that is down below. But the thing is our cruises are really about community, and there is no judgment. So you can bring family members who aren't keto, but this is a great way in following us and stuff and saying like, I'm afraid to go on a cruise because I'm afraid that like there's not enough food for my eating lifestyle. Well, one of the reasons we like to vlog when we go on cruises is we can show you
it's possible.
It is possible. And maybe you're going on the low carb cruise and you're a little worried about it. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You hit that bell notification so that you can find out when those videos are coming out. And also, if you want to support us more, you can consider buying us a cup of coffee with that link down below. Let's get started. We're going to start off with Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Gail put up this post and said, just because it's a new year doesn't mean you have to be a new you.
Yes.
Can you have goals, new hobbies, or interests? Yes. But all I hope is you aspire to be a kinder, healthier, and happier version of who you already are.
Gail, thank you so much for that. And it's interesting that you brought up Snoopy because my first book read of the year was a Peanuts book that was just talking about like you being you. And I thought, you know, sometimes it's the kids' books that really remind us of the truth, right? We get really harsh on ourselves. And I can tell you in past years, there were so many times where I was unsuccessful in making changes in my life because I thought that I needed to be a different person. Like, you need to throw out me, all the things about my personality that make me me. That was the problem. I was the problem. But the truth is that like we should be on our own team, right? And we don't need to be anybody different. We can love ourselves right where we're at, and we can make new choices to help that same person be 1% better every day.
Yeah. Now, I also forgot about the other piece of housekeeping.
Yeah.
And that is, if you are in the Florida area, I wanted to let everybody know, we will be at the Florida RV Super Show up in Tampa. It's in a couple of weeks. It's coming up quickly. We'll be up there most of the week, starting on Wednesday. We'll probably be there Wednesday through Saturday. And then we'll come back here because we do have our house getting up for sale. We need to get stuff handled here. We need to go get our stuff from the other house. We have to like pack it up into a U-Haul and start moving it and things like that. But we will be around, so make sure you're messaging us. We'll be there most of the time. You'll find us walking around. If you message us, we can let you know where we're at the time. We'll be spending a bunch of time over at the Alliance RV booth because we are brand ambassadors for Alliance RV. And also we will be having a meetup while we're there, where I think they're giving us a meeting room for like an hour or so where we can just get together and say hi. So if you're in the area, come join us. Okay, next one we have is from Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Lori said, I rang in the new year, food and alcohol sober.
Way to go.
18 months alcohol sober tomorrow, and in April of 2025, it will be 4 years since I started this amazing journey. Oh, and my oldest baby turned 18 yesterday.
Wow.
I was surrounded by cake and beer, but I stuck to meat and eggs.
Wow, Lori, what a victory. That is awesome. Happy birthday to your precious child. That is so amazing. And, you know, it is hard. I'm not going to say that it's not hard, that it's easy to make a decision and then follow through with that with consistency. It's not. It's a hard-fought, hard-earned win when you have those. And Lori, thank you for taking the time to celebrate and show us that it is possible.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. Later on in the week, we actually have a video coming out for reasons people fail at keto. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to see that video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell button so you're notified when it comes up. But one of them is failing to recognize the fact that it can be hard, especially because of social pressures.
Sure.
Going to birthday parties and being surrounded by cake and cookies and treats and chicken tenders and easy finger foods. and having that ability to say no. And one of the things that really helps that is community.
Absolutely.
Okay, next one we have is from Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Terry said, I had my annual diabetic eye exam today. I've been keto for 2.5 months. I've lost 25 pounds, took my belt in 2 holes, cut my blood sugar in half, 200 to 100. The doctor was happy with my blood sugar until I told him I was trying keto.
Oh, no.
He told me I needed to get off of keto immediately, and it was bad for my health.
Wow.
Everything I told him, he responded that I was wrong.
Nice.
I even told him things that I learned from Dr. Barry. Even this information was false. I guess from now on, I should tell medical staff that I'm low carb, not keto.
You know, that's a great way to approach it because unfortunately, you aren't always met with people cheering your method of losing weight and getting healthy. Like, that's just really unfortunate. Like you were just saying, that community makes such a difference. Community makes a difference when it comes to sticking to it despite having, you know, healthcare professionals say that they don't like what you're doing, because I think you need to surround yourself with some people who do cheer and who can also say, hey, I've been doing this for even longer than you have been doing this, and I'm not having like terrible health concerns. Because a lot of times, you know, doctors may tell you, okay, well, in the short term, getting off sugar is good, but like, oh, give it 5 years and you're going to be in really poor health. But, you know, my circumstance, my mom's circumstance, who also has to go for diabetic eye checkups, you know, even like now that she's put her diabetes into remission, like it was frustrating to her to get started and have a doctor that's like not supportive.
One of my suggestions when you're talking to medical doctors or anybody in the medical field, especially if they do not understand keto or eating the proper human diet, my recommendation is always, I wouldn't even use low carb. I would say, when they ask you, okay, what are you doing? How are your numbers down? Because listen, we know that there is no medication that can take someone's A1C from a 10 to a 5.
Right.
It just doesn't exist, right? So when they start going, what's going on? How are you losing weight? Why? How are your blood numbers coming in so well? The best answer is generally to say, I changed my eating lifestyle to eating a more whole foods approach. I've cut out a lot of the pastas, the grains, the sugars, and the overall processed foods. Nobody is going to complain about that.
Right.
The problem is a lot of doctors and other medical professionals, they don't understand keto. It's not even their fault. They just don't understand it. And like so many other things, they only see what they see in the media, bad things about that. And then when they do look at all of this and say, but this, explain to, maybe ask them like, so why exactly do you not like the way I'm eating? Tell me what you don't like. And because a lot of times they can't even come up with a good reason. It's only what they've heard in the past. And sometimes, whether it be your medical professionals or even friends and family, they're like focusing on a stick instead of seeing the whole forest. Like they see the one tree, but they don't see the overall thing. You can look at our blood numbers. If you only focused on, say, total cholesterol, some people would say, oh my gosh, you're so unhealthy. But they're completely ignoring the fact that our A1Cs are perfect, our fasting insulin is perfect, our HDL is perfect, our triglycerides are below 50, that all of the other inflammation markers are perfect, but you're only focusing on that one number instead of the overall health. And I think sometimes people would rather be like right than care more about like your overall health.
Not even be right, but just be like following along with the flow of what they've been told with no challenge to that. And you feel bad for them too, because if they're this against it, then they probably have not tried this for themselves. And so they're living in inflammation. And think about like the healthcare workers that you know of, the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare professionals, the schedule that they usually have to keep up with. It's like, I don't want them to have to live through that inflammation. So we really, truly hope that they come to try it for themselves.
Next one we have is from Fronnie.
Hey, Fronnie.
I really like floppy bacon. That's okay. We still love you.
We love you.
I have cut out extra dairy and I saw a bit of a pound up and then down weight loss. However, 2 weeks ago, I wore a pair of dress pants that were a bit big, but doable.
Nice.
Yesterday, I put them on and they kept slipping down even though I put on a belt.
Wow.
I was a bit anxious about standing up at a meeting because the danger of my pants falling down was real.
Oh,
Been there,
no.
done that. The scale was lying, but the pants weren't.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Fronnie, because you are showing people another place to look for success. I know that it is so encouraging to see the numbers start coming down on the scale. We've experienced that. After being more than 300 pounds, I get it. But if it's just pounds on a scale, but you're not seeing a difference in those clothing, that would be a problem, right? Because like the circumstances appear to everybody else. You're not traveling around on a bathroom scale. So like when you interact with people, stand on it and say like, hey, look, aren't you enjoying the new me? So it's nice that you can change in your body. And sometimes that is not something the scale picks up on.
And that leads us to the next comment. And I've actually eliminated the names so that this person doesn't get a bunch of blowback.
Okay.
Said, so don't eat keto for weight loss. This is referring to our comment last week, the title of last week's
find
Keto
something
Beyond the
else.
Couch, right? Said, find something else. Who are you to tell people what to do?
Wow.
What would you then recommend? What if somebody would actually take this egotistical, ridiculous advice and they miss out on finding out, like you did, that keto does more than weight loss?
Okay.
I don't think it is very community to shut the door on people because their motivation doesn't match your dogma. What and why people do what they do is really none of your business. There were a couple of comments similar to this from last week, and I wanted to clarify the title of last week's video and what we were talking about. I think they're missing what we were saying. I agree. Weight loss can be amazing on keto. But as I said last week, the weight loss, when you get started eating the proper human diet, is really a side effect of eating the proper human diet. I love it when people come to keto for weight loss and then they discover all of the other health benefits, much like we did. The problem is, as we have personally experienced, I mean, Rachel experienced it in the very first month.
Sure.
What if you don't experience the weight loss? If you look at keto as only a weight loss diet, two things are going to happen. Number one, eventually you're going to hit a stall, and then many people will go, well, keto doesn't work. I'm going to find something else.
Right.
Rachel started keto with me, did not lose any weight, and quit after a month because she didn't lose weight. Because we didn't understand the other health benefits. She was doing it solely for weight loss. The other thing that could possibly happen when you get started is you end up with, having this keto lifestyle. You're doing it for weight loss, and then you have a little bit of weight loss, and then you hit a stall, and like, now I don't know what to do. So that is why we say it's great for weight loss, but we want you to find other reasons so that when you hit a stall and it's not just weight loss, that if I never lost another pound, but I'm no longer a type 2 diabetic, I no longer need my medication, I feel better, I have more energy, then you will keep doing it. Because what ends up happening is when you do it as only a weight loss thing, what a lot of people do is, and this was my original approach before I realized that I was actually having other health benefits, was my plan was to do keto, lose weight, and go back to the regular diet. And I promise you this, I promise you, if you do keto for weight loss, and then go back to the way you were eating before,
it's like a double whammy.
You're going to end up gaining all that weight back and probably more. I promise you that if you eat keto, lose a bunch of weight, lose 100 pounds, and then go back to eating the old standard American diet, you're going to gain it all back.
Well, because now you know that like you're trying to lean on carbs again. And at the same time, you have built up a taste for fat because fat is flavor. So now you're trying to really go full throttle standard American diet, which is that combination of carbohydrates and fat together, which can be really bad. And another reason not to hang your hat solely on weight loss is we stick to this And maintenance, like what that looks like for you, depending on not just the food, but just what's going on in your life, you are going to go up and down in weight. Whether you are keto, whether you are carnivore, whether you are on lion diet. I am telling you, you cannot out lion when you have some sort of stressful season in your life that you're like newly processing. So I just don't want you to hang your hat solely on weight loss. And I really hope that whoever this is takes some time to like get to know us on a personal level, like maybe come on a cruise with us or see us at a conference, because then you'll know what our heart is. Like, I would say that we probably are the least dogmatic people. Like, we want you to do keto your way. We just want you to be super successful. And I'm sorry if it comes across that we were harsh about that. I just, when you've fallen down in a pothole, you want to let everybody know, hey, there's a pothole on this road.
Yep. I mean, again, we include everybody, whether you are keto,
Sure.
carnivore, lion diet. I don't care if you're a vegan.
No.
For us, it's about community. It's about getting healthy. The enemy is the sugar, the overly processed foods, the big food industry that controls everything.
Sure.
The big pharma industry that controls the doctors. That is, for us, the real enemy. And we welcome everybody, but we also don't want people to get disappointed, start keto, lose a little bit of weight, hit a stall, and be like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so our point last week was literally to just say, if you've come to keto to lose weight, find some other reasons to stick to it. Because otherwise, when you either A, stop losing weight, or B, don't lose weight, or C, hit your goal, we want you to continue eating the proper human diet, even if you change things up a little bit. Some people, once they get there, realize like, hey, once in a blue moon, I can incorporate a sweet potato. But they've learned to understand that eating the breads and the pastas and the sugars is not the answer.
Right.
Next one we have is from Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
I have a newer Vitamix. I make my Keto Chow ice cream in it, but I see all of the Ninja Creamy Keto Chow ice cream and wonder, is the creamy worth it if you have a Vitamix? It depends on you.
It's like texture. It's like asking, what's better, scrambled eggs, poached eggs, or over easy. It's really going to be like your preference as far as like mouthfeel, because they are different in mouthfeel.
If you do a Vitamix right, and listen, we own a Vitamix.
My mom makes it in Vitamix.
We made Keto Chow ice cream and regular ice creams in the Vitamix long before the creamy ever came out, and
Right.
I think it gives you a great result. We have a video on how to do it. The thing is it can be a little bit of a trial and error. If you mix the wrong amount of ice, it may not come out right. It gives you more of a soft serve consistency. But it's quick and easy. Like literally 30 seconds and you're done.
I like that.
And I love the Keto Chow ice cream or any kind of keto-friendly ice cream in a Vitamix. That being said, the creamy, it almost makes it like...
Store-bought. Or like even Baskin Robbins or something.
It makes it foolproof.
Like
I'm trying to
scoopable.
find the right word without being offensive. It makes it foolproof.
Rachel-proof.
Because literally, you mix up a Keto Chow and then you stick it in the freezer and put it in this machine and you're going to get the same results every single time.
Right.
And it's more of a scoopable hard ice cream. But if you like just using the Vitamix,
go for it.
I would say keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have my creamy, that is absolutely the best way for me because it's fast. It's easy. The cleanup is easy. As much as we loved our compressor ice cream maker, it was more things you had to clean. You had to clean the bowl. It took 20 minutes for it to make it.
Vitamix will clean itself, right? Like, I love the fact that you can just like rinse it with like soapy water inside of the Vitamix. Like, yeah. I mean, don't you wish that everything was a self-cleaning device like that?
Yeah, so if you want a bunch of mix-ins, you want more of a scoopable ice cream, use the Ninja Creamy. If you just want that more of like Wendy's Frosty type of consistency, I would say keep using the Vitamix.
Sure.
Next one we have is from Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Hey, guys, I'm new to the group. I've done keto for years and stopped about 3 years ago. I was supposed to get back on the bandwagon, and I ended up sick and full of a bad cold and upper respiratory infection. Anyways, when I'm feeling good, I'm starting. My box of Keto Chow came, and I was wondering if anyone has used it, and if so, do you replace the water with almond milk? We love Keto Chow. We have, excuse me, lots of videos about Keto Chow. you don't need to replace the water with almond milk. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Almond milk is pretty much just water that's had some almond pulp mixed in. It's pretty much water.
It's like almonds had a bath.
Yeah.
It's like their bath water.
And it can bring oxalates, so I would say you don't need the almond milk. It's not adding anything nutrition-wise to the keto chow. It's not making it thicker. It's just literally replacing water. It'd be no different than using coffee, which works well, by the way.
Yeah.
If you take a chocolate or the mocha or the Irish cream
caramel macchiato.
or the caramel macchiato, any of like the coffee flavors, and you mix it with coffee as your water source, it can give you some amazing results.
Delicious.
Next one is from Rhonda.
Hi, Rhonda.
I'm new to the group, but not to keto. I've been reading a lot about carnivore and wanting to try it. I tried it once for a day, but gave up because I was so hungry. Any advice on to get started is appreciated.
Well, I think that the key is getting full. There's something magical about getting full. And, you know, if you are trying to do carnivore, whether you're using beef, butter, bacon, eggs, all carnivore things, if you're using a steak, right? Or if you're eating a bunch of fish, you're eating shrimp, you're eating scallops, like you're eating different kinds of meat, chicken, if you're eating roasted chicken or something like that, there's an opportunity for you to hit a protein threshold, and it is non-negotiable once you eat that. It's not like carbohydrates that you just eat and, you know, you could eat it in 20 minutes. I find that when I fill up on meat and animal fats, like you're suggesting going on carnivore, you can get full. So go ahead and allow yourself to get full. I think that if you're trying to do carnivore and you're trying to calorie restrict at the same time, then that's when everything can get a little dicey.
So there was recently a video on a very old video where we were interviewing a doctor, a comment rather. We were interviewing a doctor from the keto space. And this doctor was talking about eating meat and said it is very difficult to overindulge on meat.
Yeah.
I agree. People are afraid to eat till they're full. The biggest problem that happens when you're eating the proper human diet, mostly meat, carnivore, ketovore, whatever happens is people will snack in between meals.
Yeah.
You need to eat until you're full. It's going to be very difficult. Like, I think most people cannot sit down and eat 2 or 3 pounds of ribeye in a sitting. I think most people are going to struggle to do that. And then if you can do it, you're not going to want to eat for a while.
Yeah.
The biggest problem that I see people have when they start carnivore, the biggest mistake is they eat high protein and low fat, or they're not eating fatty meats. When you're eating a carnivore diet, the only real source of fuel is that fat. Yes, your body can use protein for fuel, but if you are eating too much protein and not enough fat, it can result in elevated blood glucose because your body is looking for the fat as your fuel source, and in the absence of the dietary fat for a fuel source, your body will begin to break down that protein for fuel, and what it does to use protein as fuel, it has to turn that protein into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. We've talked about that a lot. It is a demand-driven, not supply-driven, which means just because you're eating protein doesn't mean it creates glucose. It's creating the glucose, which it does have to do a little bit, but it's creating it because it needs that fuel because of the lack of fat. So my biggest suggestion, if you're going to start on carnivore, number one, know that you don't have to do carnivore. Carnivore is great if it's sustainable for you. But if you're finding it like where only eating meat is causing you to crave other things, like maybe a vegetable or a salad once in a while, then do it that way. It's great if it's sustainable for you, but if you're going to do it, just make sure you're consuming fattier cuts of meat and adding in some animal fats. Like if you're eating something very lean like venison, make sure you're putting in some butter, some beef tallow, some lard to up that fat content.
It's interesting too, full on meat feels so different than full on anything else. Like I'm full right now, but I am like comfortable. I don't have like a weird bloated feeling. I don't have a tummy ache. I don't feel like we can't do anything else today. Like I couldn't possibly walk anywhere. But there's been times, even when I'm keto, just keto, not out, outside of beef or bacon, egg, where I instantly are like, I regret all that cheese, or I regret all that extra dairy, or, we had like Brussels sprouts or something. And I'm like, oh, I feel like farty, right? It's a different kind of full on when you're eating meat than when you're eating other foods.
Next one is from Angie.
Hey, Angie.
Angie put this up. 7 days of beef, butter, bacon, egg. Check. Embarrassing gas at work, completely gone. Wow. Stopped wearing my knee brace to work. I've been wearing it every shift for over a year.
Wow.
It seems to hurt less and recover from the pain faster. Nothing less. Noticing less hip and knee pain. More foot and ankle. New shoes aren't supporting as well.
At least you can pinpoint that the issue is the shoes.
Yep. First 3 days, I hate water. Next 3 days, fine, I'll drink it. Day 7, have you seen my water bottle? I need to refill it again.
How awesome.
I have more energy at work, still going strong at the end of the shift. The bad thing, I had to start using a water pick again because meat is getting stuck in between my teeth, making my teeth and gum tender and sore.
That is a thing. So I hope that everybody sees this and how easy it is for you to be daily journaling like Angie is doing about like what you're seeing, whether you're just starting keto and it's been a while, or this is the first time, or if you're with us and you're doing triple B and E. This dialogue helps you to notice more things than just, hey, I'm not eating what I normally was eating. If that's the only thing that you have to look at is I'm looking for weight loss and I haven't seen any yet, or I am looking, back at the food I used to get to eat, but now I can't eat anymore, then that's a really sad place to live. But doesn't Angie's take on what she's seeing completely provide a testimonial for her to keep going and doing what she's doing?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with the rest of the comments.
Well, welcome back.
So before we get going, we want to take a quick moment to remind you, if you're getting any kind of benefit out of this video or our channel, please make sure you are sharing, and subscribing our videos. And if you'd like to support us further, either go join our Mighty Networks or buy us a cup of coffee with the link down below. So next one is from Ivory Bow.
Hi, Ivory Bow. I have been ketovore for nearly 2 years. I lost 80 pounds and corrected my diabetes, high blood pressure, and improved my chronic kidney disease. I've gone from stage 3B to stage 2 on ketovore. That's amazing. I said that if I were not more recovered January 1st, 2025, I would try beef, butter, bacon, and egg for 90 days. But I'm stuck for the last 5 months. I simply cannot get rid of that last 20 pounds of edema left to lose and residual damage from years of lymphedema, which I am convinced is a disease caused by carb consumption. It's January 1st and I begin today. I'm not looking forward to it as I suffer meat aversion, but I am going to give it 90 days.
I love this post.
Me too.
Because again, you're recognizing hey, I'm having all of these health things. And this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the video. What if Ivory was only focused on weight loss and didn't focus on the other things? So she's stuck for the last 5 months, but going, I know I have all these other health benefits that I'm getting, so I'm sticking with this and I'm going to change things up. Now, I do agree that I think a lot of the lymphedema is a result of eating excess carbs.
For decades.
We have a lot of friends in the space. Rachel, that's something that she suffers with. And what we do know is incorporating too much junk food, too many carbs, things like that can lead to more swelling. I would definitely check out some of the other experts on that. But I think that starting with beef, butter, bacon, egg is a great way to see, are there other foods that are possibly causing that excess water weight?
Right. It really does help.
Next one we have is from Laquita. Confession. I am a spoon licker, finger licker. As I cook, I taste. It doesn't feel like that it's that much, but when you're not truly tasting or enjoying, how do you know how much it actually is?
Good point.
I no longer do the baking I used to, nor have dangerous ingredients, just the hand-to-mouth bad habit. For the most part, this way of eating really helps, but I know that the habit is still there, and am reminded as I was prepping cabbage to be sauerkraut in a few days.
I think that's such an important point, and it's something that, like, I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you so much for sharing this. But that was something that was a habit I really needed to break, and it really began when Caleb, our youngest son, was like toddler preschooler, because I was tasting his food the entire time I was preparing it. You know, it was crazy, like how much I would consume when I'm trying to like make food for a little toddler. So
did you play the
one
one for me, one for him, two for me? Like, I definitely...
Well, especially when I would be like testing the food and it was like, I just tested it 2 minutes ago. Nothing new has happened. It's not any further along than it is right now.
And even after you test it and you've played it, wait, let me have some more.
Just to check it, right? I'm making sure that it's the right temperature for him. I mean, it was just a whole, I've always had like a really bad, relationship with food. So what really helped us was actually, or me rather, was Triple B and E, because I was making things at the time we first did it for other people who weren't doing Triple B and E like me and Joe. And so what I would start doing is in between any interaction with food. So like, let's say I'm stirring up, making like some spinach artichoke dip for the kids, and a little bit like flips onto my hand or my, you know how it is when you're like mixing stuff. I would instantly, instead of like going to taste it, which I would have normally did, wash my hands. So all I did is work up a washing my hands routine, not to like an obsessive level, but just, it's not a bad thing. That was a good behavior while I'm cooking to replace that behavior while I'm cooking that I wanted to get rid of.
Next one is from Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
I'm wondering, once you eliminate a food, how long does it take for the inflammation of my elbows and knees to vanish? That's going to be a specific situation for you. Everybody is different.
Yeah.
I've coached people where the inflammation went down within a couple of weeks. I've coached people where it took a couple of months for inflammation to go down. I know I've experienced that. That's why we always tell people, listen, a 1 week, 2 week, even 30 days really isn't enough. 30 days is really the minimum. If you really want to see the results and what is causing inflammation, you
90.
need to give it 60 to 90 days minimum. And we also always tell people, like, when you are going to try something new, give it 60 to 90 days. You don't know the true effects. So many people will start something like, hey, I'm going to do beef butter bacon. I'm going to do it for a week or two, see how it is. Then I'm going to go on, what's new? What's next? Is it eating sardines only for 3 days? And, oh, wait, that didn't work. And we're never really giving things a chance to really make the change. It has to be a decent amount of time to really see the change. And then when you reintroduce things, that needs to be a very slow process as well.
And this was a hard thing for me to wrap my mind around. I was that kid growing up that like got a boo-boo, put on a Band-Aid, and like 2 minutes later I wanted to check the boo-boo, and then now I need to put a new Band-Aid on. So it was just like a constant stream. Like, it takes some time to heal. Like, you have to be patient with it, and it's hard. It is hard to wait and not like want to change things up, but consistency is key, and that's really the way that you're going to give any kind of experiment an authentic try.
Next one is from Amy.
Hey, Amy, can we talk about body dysmorphia? As someone who used to be to weigh close to 300 pounds, 400 pounds. Size women's 34 pants were tight. 5X tops were too small. Clothes shopping was a nightmare. Now I'm comfortably in a size 12 and extra large, but my brain isn't there. I don't know where to shop anymore since the plus size stores I'm used to are not my only options anymore. I found myself arguing with a salesperson as I was wearing a size 16 that they were baggy. However, I still insisted I needed an 18, maybe 16, while she's handing me 14s and 12s. I see a 5XL person in the mirror. When does this change? I was in Lululemon trying a size 10, and I was in a sweat thinking, who do I think I am? This is going to fit. They did, in fact, fit. Please tell me I am not alone in this. You are not alone.
Amy, you are not alone. 8 years in, still see the 300-pound person in the mirror.
Sure.
I know when we were on the 2KK getaway cruise in December, I was talking to someone who has lost a tremendous amount of weight. I don't want to use her name and in case make sure she's okay with it. But I will say this person has been on the cover of Woman's World magazine.
Yeah.
And she was telling me how she still finds herself going to the plus size section. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't know if it ever fully goes away. I know for me, at least, it's not. There's times when I look in the mirror and I'm like, I look good. Then there's more times than not where I'm like, I'm fat. I still see that 300-pound person. What you're talking about with the clothes, Rachel went through it. I remember when Rachel came back to keto in January 7 years ago. And she, after about a month, and she needed clothes. And she was like, go get me whatever size it was. I think it was like a size 6. And I'm looking at her like, there's no way. And so I brought her like a size 4 or size 2. She's like, I'm not going to fit in that. She's like, I've only gone down like 2 pounds. But you did.
Well, you're going to have to just wear clothes and be in that until you believe it. You know what I mean? It's hard when you put on a new pair of clothes, like you're used to. Like I can remember, like it was stretchy for me in a 24W. And so to wrap your mind around wearing a 10 or an 8 or a 6 or something, you almost need to proclaim it. Like as you are pulling it up and buttoning it and zipping it to like the practice of like believing it for yourself, that you're like, I am putting on a size 10 pair of jeans and it is buttoning and it is zipping. And therefore I must be in a size 10 pair of jeans because that is what is happening right now. Like I need to kind of point it out what I'm seeing as I'm seeing it.
Let's take a quick fade to black. Okay, we are back. Sorry, we had to go turkey wrangling before they went on a walkabout.
Yes. Oh my gosh, they completely go Crocodile Dundee.
Yep, same time every day. Okay, next one we have is from Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Can we have unsweetened herbal tea on beef, butter, bacon, egg? Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, so where we talk about coffee experiences, use your herbal tea. The key is no sweeteners, no dairy or anything like that in your tea. Next one is from Rita.
Hey, Rita.
Yesterday on Keto Beyond the Couch, they were talking about having a support community to help you on this journey. I want to say that this group is an amazing support, and I've always felt care and compassion from it. Wow. I do wish I had a local group that I could meet with in person, but as of right now, this group is it, and I'm so happy to be here.
Rita, I am so happy that you are here as well. Every single person who makes up the Two Crazy Ketos family is vital. Like you are absolutely vital to the life of this community. Every single person, every single story, it is so powerful and is really necessary. And I'm going to encourage you, like Rita is saying, that if you can find an in-person community as well, like let somebody know within the Mighty Networks group, hey, I am from this state. Is there anybody that is near me? Because we found meetups like popping up now all over the place, all over the country, now that people find like who they're in proximity with.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Trish and Terry put something out for
Western New York.
And like lo and behold, there's a bunch of people in the area. So I would Rita go into our Mighty Networks group and put up who is in this area, even if it's just 2 of you.
Right.
Get together, have some wings, have some coffee. We just went to a new church. We were visiting a new church as we look for a new church home here in Arcadia. And we walk in and we're talking to someone. And number one, we met one lady who is a carnivore.
Right.
We met another lady who was doing ketos, lost well over 100 pounds. And the pastor said to me, like, hey, we were doing keto. I went off of it. And like, I missed the lack of inflammation. And so he's like, at the end of our 21 days of prayer and fasting, I'm going back to keto.
So excited.
But you would never know. So I think more and more people in your community are eating a proper human diet, but we need to let them know, hey, so are we.
Where are you at?
Next one is from Bob and
Bob.
Donna. Does anybody know what a Nova Sous Vide stick were Joe and Rachel compared to the oven that they didn't say what stick? All of the Anova sticks are good. I'm going to leave a link for them down below. They have a couple of them. They have the Precision Cooker Nano. Then they have the Precision Cooker 3. And then the Pro model. I would stay away from the Nano. I don't think it has enough features. It's kind of underpowered, in my opinion. I think the Nano, not the Nano, but the Precision Cooker 3 is a very good sous vide. And the Pro is really good. It just gives you some extra bells and whistles. Costs about $70 or $80 more. I'll leave a link for them down below. I have found most of the time it's cheaper to buy it directly from Innova. Once in a while, you'll find them on sale on Amazon. But when I was even looking the other day, I did notice it is cheaper on Innova's website than it is to buy it directly from Amazon.
Let us know in the comments if you are somebody who enjoys sous vide cooking. What's your favorite thing currently to cook in the sous vide? I gotta say, one of my favorite things about the sous vide is reheating leftovers, right? I mean, we would make a big brisket
Especially
in the past.
beef.
Yeah, in the past we would make a brisket, and if you couldn't consume the whole thing in one day, it was like the experience of eating the leftovers was just not as fun as it is now that we sous vide.
Yep. Next one is from Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
So is carnivore without dairy best for weight loss? Not necessarily. So do I think carnivore is great, as we said earlier? Yes. I think that the best form of the proper human diet for you for weight loss is what is most sustainable for you.
Right.
So can you have great results on carnivore with and without dairy?
Sure.
Yes, you can. Can you have great results on eating keto with dairy and without dairy? Yes, you can. It really depends on what is sustainable for you. For me, I got to make sure I say this so that we don't get misquoted and someone say that we're anti-carnivore. For me, carnivore is not long-term sustainable. I like to have a salad once in a while. Like, so we don't really have a lot of green stuff at home, mostly because we end up not consuming it and throwing it out.
It's just a waste.
And so when we're at home, I would say we are 95 to 98% meat. When we go on a cruise, if we go to Texas Roadhouse, it becomes more like 70 to 80%. I'm going to enjoy salads because it's there and I like it.
Somebody else has to chop up the salad for me.
But that's what's sustainable for me. Now, dairy, can it cause inflammation? Yes. It depends on the person. And like we said in last week and in other videos, things like cheese and stuff is very easy to overconsume. That's one of the biggest problems with it. The best thing to do is try it with and without. If you are just getting started on keto, I wouldn't even go to carnivore. I'd try to eat a stricter keto without a bunch of outside products and things. Try it with dairy. And if you get stuck, maybe take out the dairy. Then maybe go to carnivore. It's, you know, too many people, I think, dive straight in and they get really bored or feel too restricted and then quit altogether. I think you start wide and then start narrowing down to find the best thing for you.
I think, and that's really the key, because I can't tell you how many coaching clients that we've had, because we do offer coaching service if that's something that you're interested in doing. Like that'd be a great way to start the year. If you're starting on keto and you'd like to have some extra help with that, we do offer coaching services. And I can tell you, like, we've met many coaching clients over the years who came to us and were like, they were carnivore, like very strict carnivore, until they weren't anything at all. It was literally like that restriction of carnivore. They were white knuckling the experience because they were like, well, this is optimal and I want to be at level hard. And so, but when they got off of it, it became this route of like, well, if I'm not going to just eat perfectly, and perfect being carnivore, then I might as well just bring back all the sugar and all the pasta, grains, all bread is back, like the whole thing. So it was really an all or nothing mentality. So I think part of that discovery is knowing you and your personality.
And that's one of the reasons that we do product reviews. Okay, so a not popular opinion that we go by is if it is keto with some packaged products or the standard American diet.
Keto with packaged products.
I think you are better off with keto with packaged food. When I first got started on keto, I relied heavily on mug cakes and things like that. Sure. There weren't really a lot of packaged foods. Now, slowly that stuff kind of weaned out of my eating lifestyle. And now, like if I have something like a Quest cup or something like that, it's more of a treat. It's not something that I need every single day. I see a lot of people, and this is where I get upset when you talk about dogma, where they're like, if you're not doing carnivore this way, then you need to get out. Just quit. Stop calling yourself a carnivore. I met somebody today who said, I'm a carnivore, but occasionally I consume vegetables. Well, that's great.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with it. But I've met carnivores going, stop calling yourself a carnivore because you said you eat a vegetable. You're not doing it right. You might as well just go back to the standard American diet.
Who
Well,
are
I
you?
disagree with that. The reason we do product reviews is that if you are going to incorporate products like packaged foods, we want you to have the best knowledge. And so we can go like this, not a good option. I don't care what the label says. This is going to trip you up. For example, a lot of the keto-friendly breads you find in stores.
Absolutely.
So it's not that you need those products, but if you are going to use them, we want to help educate. Some people can do keto without ever buying any of them. Some people say this is what makes keto sustainable. So bottom line is the best weight loss is eating a proper human diet that's sustainable for you.
Absolutely.
Next one we have is from Mary.
Hey, Mary.
I have been part of the vegan community and this community.
Wow.
This community by far is so much nicer.
Aww.
I'm not keto, but I'm eating less high carbs and throwing in chicken and turkey, etc.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate all of you for welcoming me regardless of where I am at.
Mary, this is why we do what we do, because we love people. At the end of the day, it's all about people. I was talking to somebody who is in ministry as we were previously in ministry before we became YouTubers. And they were talking about doing a job, and there's always like administrative stuff that you have to do, whether it's like taking out the trash or like, just sweeping up, cleaning up things. And they were in a ministry position, and they were like, they had to kind of remind their entire team, at the end of the day, it's all about people. Like the extra stuff, the stuff that we do, like whether, you're cleaning up something or you're throwing out the trash or sweeping up and the area looks great, that's nice, but it's nothing if you've forgotten that at the core of this is people. And so Joe and I, we knew like we never want to be celebrities. We came into this space to be servants. It's all about serving people. We love people. And at the end of the day, it's about people.
Next one we have is from Trish.
Hey, Trish.
Hi, do you want to sell any of your unfertilized eggs? Thank you.
Oh, wow.
If you are in our area, like the Arcadia, Port Charlotte area, and you would like some pasture-raised eggs, hit us up on our Mighty Networks group, and we'd be happy to sell them to you at $3 or $4 a dozen.
Sure.
We don't have chickens and sell eggs because, be honest, you can't make any money selling eggs.
Right.
Okay, if you want to know what it costs to do a dozen eggs, it's probably closer to $7 or $8 a dozen just in feed and everything, especially when you first get chickens. It takes 6 months to go from a baby to them producing chickens, and in that time, you have spent a lot of money on feeding those chickens. I now understand like why when we go to the animal auction, which is our date night on Fridays, so many people buy full-grown chickens, $10, $15, $20 for a full-grown chicken. And we were always like, no, you want to start it from baby. Well, I can't bring that chicken from a baby to a 6-month-old, 7-month-old egg-laying chicken for $15.
No.
It is literally cheaper for me to just buy one. It's already giving me eggs. So if you're in our area and you want some pasture-raised eggs, hit us up. We get plenty every day. We end up just giving them to family members, feeding them to our animals. So
we'd love to help.
now we're trying to hatch them for more babies. So
some more eggs.
Hit us up if you want some eggs. Next one is from Judy.
Hey, Judy.
Keep on trying. Get back up after you fall. Imperfect consistency.
Yes.
Give yourself the grace that you would show to a friend.
And that's with anything, right? I feel like we can understand that there's so many nights that I like went to bed feeling like, wow, I could have mommed way better than I did today. Or I could have been a better spouse than I was. Like, gosh, boy, Joe really was like, is pretty long suffering, So there's a lot of times we go home from work and we think, gosh, like this was not my finest day. But we go back to work. We go back to our marriage. We get up in that next morning and we parent our kids. So when it comes to eating, it shouldn't be like this all or nothing either, right? Like you dust yourself back off, you get back in there. Like how many times do you have to dust yourself back off? As many as it takes until your last meal, right?
Well, that is going to be the end of today's Keto Beyond the Couch. And just a reminder, we will be out of town until Friday, so there will not be a live stream this Thursday. But we do have some videos coming out this week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. When they come out, you will be notified for it. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor, take a look at the video we've linked right over there. Also, make sure you take out the most recent video that I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way, subscribe to our channel, and click the little bell icon. And that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.